So, even though my grandmothers are gone, I lost the last one in 2020. I just know that because I had such a great relationship, and I never questioned that they loved me. Like, I just felt like I had so many examples and so many experiences. It doesn't feel like their love stopped because they died. I still reflect on it, and I can still feel that for myself. And I was just sitting here listening to musicals, because that's the type of bitch I am. And I was in a musical in high school called Once on This Island, and it was basically, to summarize it, like a Cinderella story, but with a Caribbean theme or centering. So they talked a lot about their gods, their cultures, and things like that, but very much like a rags to riches orphaned girl who comes up and tries to win the affections of someone, who's maybe out of her league or whatever the case may be. But I was listening to the story, or to the musical, and when I was in high school, I didn't make any of the main characters. I only made the chorus line, which is your backup singers. And I had like one kind of big finale line at the end of the play. But because I was going to a charter school on the campus of a traditional public high school where they were doing the theater program and where they put on the play, I had access at this charter school for all of these technology, like all these technical resources. Like, we had a green screen room, and we had production equipment and audio visual stuff. And we had access to all of the latest and greatest Microsoft Suite programs, one of which PowerPoint, and like just different graphic designing programs like Adobe and stuff like that. And I was learning to use them. And I volunteered to design and create the poster that would advertise the play. And so I put it together, and it looked all like how the plays look when you're going to like a legit show, like off Broadway or on Broadway or something like that. Like, I followed that playbill format, and I did it, and it was well received. And we did a mass production of them. We had smaller ones that we were passing out. We had larger ones that were posted outside the school and throughout the community to advertise to that community in that city that we were putting on this play. And when I was telling my grandma Val that I had designed and created this poster, she was like, well, why doesn't it say that it was designed by you? And I was like, well, I don't really think that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, we had our names listed on the either side of the logo of the play to let everyone know who was in the production, and my name was on there. But she's like, no, where's your name in terms of like, you designed this poster? And I was like, it's not on there. And so she made it a point she was telling everybody, she was like, my grandbaby down there designing posters. She's designing all of these production posters, and she's not even putting her name on it, and her posters are all around the city, and she ain't even got her name on. And I just was like, yo, I didn't take it like that. I was just like, here's something that I can do, and I can do it easily. It's something that I would love to do. I want to contribute. I love the theater program. I have the ability, I have the capacity. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Nothing in me thought that I was supposed to put my name on it, and I still don't think that that's maybe necessarily the way that you would do it anyway. But the point of the matter is that my grandmothers, but specifically in this situation, like my grandma Val just bigged me up in such a way that I wasn't even like thinking about for myself. Like, that's the type of love that they had. It was like, it was empowering to me. It was like, no, you're the shit. Like, not in a way that they would say it like that, but that was the feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're capable and powerful and smart and creative, and you can do all of these things. And I don't know if like they understood how they were making me feel when they were speaking to me in those ways, but like I don't know, like I struggle already with self-esteem and anxiety just because of like the immediacy of the type of connections I had with my parents and the type of connection that I had specifically with my dad, him being a damn tyrant and mean and not always willing to embrace in a loving way or necessarily being supportive. And this morning when I was driving a young woman with her young daughter, she said, we've had such a crazy day. She said, and the little girl was so cute. She had like little carrot clips in her hair. She had her little Easter basket. So it was preschool. So I assume because it's Easter coming up, they had an egg hunt today. She was like, you know, went into my car today to find out that my battery was dead. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, so would you be willing to take me home? And I was like, yep. Go ahead and go through the app, edit to add a stop so that you can create a destination back after you drop it, you know, whatever. We had the conversation. So she edits the ride and we're driving to her daughter's preschool. And this lady, I assume her husband, you know, called and was saying, she was explaining like what happened with the car. And the little girl kept saying, I love you. I love you. And so her mom was like, you know, yeah, you know, she just kind of feels bad. You know, I asked her if she turned on the light in the back and left it on. And she said yes. And so she's like, but it was an accident. It was an accident. And so she was explaining to him like, yeah, I know, but you know, she just kind of feels bad. And so the little girl was like, well, but wait, but can I talk to him? And so she's like, she wants to talk to you. So she gets on the phone and she was just like, I love you, Dad. And he was like, I love you. And she was like, he was like, oh, it's okay. You know, it was a mistake. You know, mistakes happen and it'll be okay. And I'm going to fix it. And then he said, do you want to fix it together? And she said, yeah, I want to fix it. And then she was like, so now that's out the way. She's like, yeah, and I'm in an Uber car. I like driving. I like riding in an Uber car. And I'm going to school today, Dad. And I'm going to have an egg hunt. And he's like, I know. And she's like, so are you going to come home soon? And, you know, they had this whole exchange. But immediately he knew that she was feeling bad about this thing. But he knew she was 4 years old and that was his baby girl. And the last thing he was going to do was create an environment where she felt bad about a situation that any fucking adult could have taken and done too, right? And he wanted her to enjoy her day at preschool because it was an exciting day for her. And kids like driving in Ubers because it's just something different. You know how that goes. Everything is exciting when you're 4. Because you're experiencing literally everything for the very first time. So like, I say all that to say, like, it's so important the way that you talk to kids, the way that you treat kids, the things that you say around them, the things that you say to them, the things that you say about them, the way that you respond to your frustrations, the way that you respond to the things that they do, because they are mistakes. If they do it again after you had a conversation with them and you've explained to them what was going on, like still having more grace, still having more empathy, still having more loving support to try to guide them in a way to do it better the next time, or to be considerate of the thing the next time without berating them or insulting them or belittling them or disrespecting them or crushing their feelings. And that was what my grandmother did for me. And I hate to think about knowing now the benefits of having grandmothers like that around me to counteract all of that other bullshit. I shudder to think how even more difficult life would be for me if I did not have that as a counteract to that bullshit. So this whole wave of like gentle parenting and speaking to your kids kindly is not an easy thing to do, because we know already. We've lived a number of years. We can anticipate actions and the reactions that they have. We know the consequences of doing certain things. And because we love our children, we don't want them to experience the consequences. So we're tough with our rearing to ensure that they don't experience that. But that's just a part of life. They're going to experience that. So the best thing we can do is love them through it, instead of being so frustrated that we hurt their feelings through times that they may not even have no control over, because they're just doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, the best way that they can. And that's why I don't say and do certain things. And I get frustrated too, and I will yell, you know what I'm saying, too, out of frustration, because I'm a human person. And guess what? I'm doing all of this shit for the first time too. I ain't never been nobody damn mama before. You know what I'm saying? Everything that she's experiencing for the first time, my daughter, I'm experiencing for the first time as her mom. Because I experienced being 11 and 12, but I didn't experience being 11 and 12 in 2011, 2012, 2013, you know, 2023, 2024. Like, this is a whole new world. When I was 12, social media was at its infancy. Social media is a whole other motherfucker right now that she's in it. So again, all of these things are happening for the very first time. I'm experiencing it for the first time. But what I do know, and what I have decided to do for myself, is to remember, honor, and appreciate the love I have for my grandmothers. And I'm still living on that. I'm still reaping the benefits of it. I'm still leaning into it as I parent my daughter, and as I consider how I speak to myself. So that's all I wanted to say.